Hello and welcome to Undead Gaming News, your one-stop shop for all things gaming. I'm your host Zombie, and first up this week we have Wolfenstein Enemy Territory, which is an old class-based FPS made by Splash Damage as a standalone expansion to Return to Castle Wolfenstein. It was originally released in May 2003 and had their official servers shut down and replaced with fan-hosted servers after being decommissioned. It remained that way for many years, however now ID Software are going to be hosting the game on their own dedicated servers, featuring its 6 original maps as of April. This game is also available on Steam for free if you're interested. There will be 4 dedicated servers that ID Software will be hosting, one for each of the regions that they're located in, and they will be in Texas in the US, Netherlands in the EU, Canberra in Australia, and London in the UK. We also have a new update for the new PS5 model that was spotted in Australia recently, as YouTuber Austin Evans has taken the model apart to discover plenty of changes inside the console. The inside has been redesigned, and there's now a differently shaped and smaller heatsink, an additional heat pipe in the rear, and a new smaller motherboard. Other changes also include an enclosed CMOS battery and a different SSD enclosure. The bottom line is basically that the PS5 model pulls 20 to 30 watts less during gaming than previous models, but with the same noise and heat output. So it certainly seems like this might be a better model, particularly for energy saving, but further testing will need to be done to confirm whether that's the case or not. Sony have also announced the new Grey Camouflage collection, which will have pre-orders beginning in September the 15th. The DualSense wireless controller version and the PS5 console cover will launch on October the 14th, and then the Pulse 3D wireless headset version will launch sometime in December. They've also released a new software update for PS5. The update includes several highly requested features, like the 1440p HDMI video output and game lists, so you can now create your own special game lists in your library, as well as social features like the ability to request a share screen from a fellow party member. You can now easily view new friends' profiles and receive a notification to help you join a friend's game more quickly from a party chat. Additionally, you can now compare 3D audio and stereo audio on the same screen and more easily access in-progress activities from game hubs. Another feature that's been added is the voice command for YouTube searches. Over on Steam, however, the developer behind Gladiator game Domina posted patch notes that included transphobic statements attacking a particular trans streamer, and the game has since been removed from Steam, with a notice indicating that the action has been taken at the request of the publisher. However, the developer confirmed that Valve chose to delist the developer from the platform. So it's not only the game that's gone, they won't be able to release any more games on Steam, as a direct consequence of their own actions. Also in the news is BioShock. The remastered versions of BioShock 1 and 2 plus BioShock Infinite received new updates that were labelled quality of life updates and rendered the games unplayable for Linux users. In the accompanying patch notes, only 2 deliberate changes were made, which were adding 2K account linking and forcing the games to run through the 2K launcher, which includes a store to purchase new content after booting from Steam. It's the launcher that appears to be causing the problem though, for people running the game on Linux, and 2K are aware of the problem and have said that they're working to resolve it and that they'll update the community with more information as it becomes available. Also in the news is Cyberpunk 2077, as they're receiving a new major update. Update 1.6, which is named the Edgerunners update, includes new gigs, weapons, cross-platform progression, and the transmog system. Up to 6 outfits can be created using the transmog system in the wardrobe. The update also adds a new arcade game to Cyberpunk 2077 called Roach Race. You might recognise the horse in the arcade game if you've played the Witcher games, as it's of course Geralt's horse. Roach Race is available in arcade machines scattered throughout the game. Update 1.6 will be the final major update for PS4 and Xbox One consoles. Further major updates will only be for PS5 and the Xbox Series S and X, and of course PC and Stadia. Cyberpunk 2077 is also going to be getting its first DLC as well, as they've officially announced Phantom Liberty. The studio dropped a short teaser trailer for the expansion. It features new faces in a new district of Night City, and all revolves around the new United States of America faction. Keanu Reeves will of course be returning for his role as Johnny Silverhand in that DLC. Phantom Liberty comes to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC and Google Stadia in 2023. Also in the news we have The Mortuary Assistant, originally released on August the 2nd, and it's already getting a movie adaptation. Publisher Dread XP and Epic Pictures Group reportedly decided to adapt the indie game before its release, with director Jeremiah Kipp saying that the movie will be a companion piece to the game. He also said that they want to retain the minimalist setting in and around the mortuary, the fascination with the process of embalming and the nerve-shredding terror of the gameplay. The film is going to focus more on the overall narrative and the themes of the game, and weave the 5-part story into one. The game's sole creator, Brian Clark, has said that movies have always been the main inspiration for his style of games, and an opportunity to bring this project full circle is making a dream of his a reality. Also in the news we have The Last of Us Part 1, as Sony is reportedly refusing to replace The Last of Us Part 1 Firefly editions that have been damaged during shipping, even though that collector's edition is only available from the company's own PlayStation Direct store. People have complained about poor packaging of the product, which seems to have been the cause of so many of them getting damaged in transit. Sony has yet to make any official statements regarding the situation, but people who have contacted PlayStation support about the issue have said that their response was a 20% discount code for another game, rather than a refund or replacement. We also have a new update for Hogwarts Legacy, as the official website has been updated to say that Quidditch is not going to be playable in Hogwarts Legacy. However, you're still able to fly around on a broom, as broom flight traversal and broom race challenges will be part of the game, and players can also fly brooms to explore new familiar locations surrounding Hogwarts Castle. Fans are unhappy with the decision to not include Quidditch, with it being such a big part of the Wizarding World. There's been no official reasoning as to why they are not including Quidditch, so I can only assume that maybe it's something to do with a time limitation or a budget limitation, because it can't be a technical limitation due to the fact that Quidditch was part of one of the original Harry Potter games, which was back on the PS1, which was obviously very bare bones in comparison to what we have now. But also in the news we have Overwatch 2, as they're planning to lock new heroes behind battle passes. This of course has fans upset, which led to Blizzard's Vice President John Spector taking to Twitter to say, addressing some incomplete info posted earlier about our Overwatch 2 Battle Pass, we will be sharing all details ahead of launch, but want to confirm that the new Overwatch 2 heroes will be available on the free track of the Battle Pass. However, as of right now, it's unclear how much grinding will be required to unlock those new heroes, and we won't know that until the game has been released on October the 4th. Over at Crystal Dynamics, they now own the rights to the Tomb Raider franchise, as not long after the acquisition by Embracer Group, Crystal Dynamics has formally announced that it once again owns those rights. Crystal Dynamics obviously didn't create the Tomb Raider series, that was core design. However, Square Enix owned the rights to Tomb Raider in recent years and enlisted Crystal Dynamics for their Tomb Raider trilogy, but now Embracer Group got those rights from Square Enix and gave them to Crystal Dynamics. So we can only assume that that means they're going to be making a new Tomb Raider game, if not a remake of a classic Tomb Raider game. Also in the news, GSC Game World, the developer for the upcoming Stalker 2, Hearts of Chernobyl, is one of many studios that have been seriously affected by Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the ongoing war. The sequel was at one point scheduled for release this year, but soon after the invasion it was confirmed that it would be delayed until 2023. However, now Xbox has begun refunding pre-orders for the game, with a message accompanying the refunds saying that the game has been postponed until an unconfirmed date in the future. The Xbox store has also stopped taking pre-orders completely for that game. This, however, is not an indication of anything wider than a Microsoft policy of refunding pre-orders for games without a firm release date, but that of course did not stop people from creating their own theories and rumours, like one of which being GSC Game World being in the process of relocating its main office to Prague. But of course, GSC said that that's simply not the case, as a spokesperson released in a statement saying, "We had to postpone the game to 2023 with no exact release date for now. We made the announcement at E3 Microsoft Extended Show alongside the dev diary and intro cutscene. Microsoft refunds pre-orders for the games with no exact release date. When we announce the exact release date later on, the pre-orders will go live again for Xbox. Pre-orders on PC are not affected by this." And over on Steam, the listing for the game does now say that it's coming December 2023, but that's likely to be a placeholder until the official release date is confirmed. Well, that's all we have time for this week, so if you have any thoughts on anything mentioned this week, please leave it in the comment section below as always, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.